Okay, we are recording. Hi, Aurora.
Hi, Yvette, and hi, everyone. We want to share this video with you to introduce ourselves and give a chance so everyone can get to know each other. Here we have Miss Yvette Dubel. She is an artistic researcher and cultural systems innovation advisor. She is with me today. Please tell us about yourself.
Well, before we get started, Aurora, let's introduce you, Aurora Meyer, founder of Lost Coast Getaways. Um, what do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Okay. Thank you for that. Um, Especially for Shelter Cove community, I want to say hello. A lot of people know me, but perhaps Lost Coast Getaways a little new for the community. It's not some big company I'm trying to introduce to the town. I started this little event planning company for retreats to bring groups of people to experience our lovely gem of a town, the nature and peace. Could be art-related retreats or anything wellness the groups are looking for. So I'm very happy to support local businesses, and I hope people get to know what I do. I'm trying to keep it positive and fun and exciting for the people who visit and also for the Shelter Cove community.
Yay. Thank you. Oh, I think I have to, excuse me. Hold on, get up some water.
Yeah.
Okay.
So back
Um,
to Miss Yvette. What are you all about?
well, I'm all about art. As an artist researcher, I like to use art as my method and my framework for transformation. And I had I'm going to say the honor and the privilege of visiting Shelter Cove last year. I'm from North Carolina. I was going to say from the Southeast. I was actually born in South Carolina, but anyway, we moved here a few years to California, from North Carolina a few years ago. And during that time, I got involved with Bright Business. That was like before, I guess I'm one of the founding members of the Bright Business Clubs, actually. I met Florin when he was still before he started the clubs
Oh,
here, and he was teaching a class at the public library in Riverside, and that was part of. I was really drawn to it because he was about building purpose-driven entrepreneurs, and I'm a purpose-driven entrepreneur. My own whole reason for ever starting a business was that I needed it as a partner for my nonprofit work and and I became more interested in business as an ingredient in social and community transformation. And so that is really where my interest in business comes from. So I have a real interest in small businesses. And in terms of looking at I forget where, I think the quote is from the play Rent, but I think it's like the opposite of war isn't peace, it's creation,
I love
right?
that.
Because
Very
and
nice.
so I really resonate with that. And so
Mhm.
creating opportunities for people to experience the transformation of opening up to the artistic process
Mhm.
and connecting. And because of my experience when I was there, even though it was for a very short amount of time. So our friends Tsunami and Kevin and their family had moved there. And my kids are adults now, but we were unschooled homeschoolers, and they moved from San Diego to Shelter Cove for a more family-centered life, less hectic sort of lifestyle. And I really resonate with that, although we're not in that phase of our life anymore. But we did make that trip with our oldest son. Um,
No.
for his birthday. So
Oh, no.
it was really just I didn't know what to expect.
Mm.
and it's a little bit mysterious, when you're on the way there, like it's a little bit scary and everything. And so you don't really know what to expect. And I remember when I called Kevin and I was like sort of scared. And when we got there, it was just amazing. It was just like
Mhm.
um, the views are just inspiring. I immediately could see coming there to create something. I was like, I could come
Mm.
here and like write a novel and then we met, of course, like bring other people here. But it's such a peaceful space. It's so
Yeah.
beautiful. We went to, what is it, the Black Sands
Black Fans
Beach?
Bistro.
Black Sands Bistro. And that was a delicious little I don't think we had found like any place to get like any sort of sweet treats. So that
Mhm.
was nice with coffee, looking at the water and like
Delicious.
with the family and sitting with Tsunami and their baby. And then Kevin was bringing the kids. So they were, I think, kind of get their kids, ready for nap time to wind down. But he was riding his skateboard. The kids were riding their bikes to meet us at the bistro. And
Mm.
just that, I I wish I had like, I don't know, I don't feel like a video could really capture the feeling of that sort of peace and safety and security. And then, of course, coming from the South, I don't think my relationship with rural spaces was complicated. So the sense of safety, nature is always welcoming, but sometimes people can be a little bump in the road. And so just the safety, the welcoming experience that I had with everybody that we encountered was really wonderful. And immediately thought like, okay, we have to figure out when we're going to come back here.
That's such a wonderful story. Yes, peaceful, friends, nature, and delicious food, cake, all come together.
Cake and coffee
Yeah.
can't go wrong, but just like so beautiful, so peaceful.
Mhm.
Everything about it felt healing, and the
Mhm.
community seemed to be a part of that. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? Instead
Yeah.
of I feel like back home, one of the issues was like having to navigate the complications that people interjected. Like if you went to the mountains or something, you didn't.
Mm.
And I'm like, I'm not a gun person or anything like that. So, it's a very vulnerable feeling to like go
Mhm.
into nature and not know what to expect, but to go into a welcoming community is just it's the place you want to bring people to do like deep work where people will feel safe.
Yes, yes. The community is definitely what makes Shelter Cove shine. For the
Yeah.
years I lived there, I got to know several people, and I think they make it a beautiful place to be when someone's going through hard times. People show up, they raise money together and help them out. I think it's a beautiful, tight-knit community.
And it has that
Yeah.
feel. It's tight knit, but it still feels welcoming. Do you know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
people there know each other, but when you come in as a visitor, they don't make
Wow.
you feel like an intruder, which was so wonderful.
Oh, that's very nice
So
to
I
hear.
really appreciate it. Makes you feel like I want to come back and experience more of this. So I'm really looking forward to having like our multiple days there and seeing what it's like, at night.
Like, yeah,
Yeah, I was
amazing.
terrified of having to drive.
Mhm.
So yeah, I look forward to not having to like leave soon. And
Oh,
just really
yeah.
being able to stay and enjoy the different restaurants because so many things weren't open because we weren't able to stay long. So there
Oh,
were
I
so many things that
see.
we weren't able to experience.
Yes, the town definitely has a lot to offer. And about Yvette, for the time I got to know her, I really look up to her vision and her causes she stands for. I think that's why I connected with her so quickly and deeply. So I got to
Oh,
learn that her main goal of doing everything she does is to set aside funds to help people who are having a hard time with housing, perhaps, and a lot of other issues in life. I heard Yvette wants to build a housing community where those people can live, and she wants to fund them. How beautiful is that? Please tell us more.
Um, I have been I write a lot about infrastructure literacy and the role of infrastructure decline in a lot of the social problems that we have. And one of the ways that I want to help address that, one of my things I wanted to address initially when I came here was doing 3D printed housing, but because of I'm just going to say all the obstacles around that. I had to start at a lower the bar a little bit. And so we're working on a remixed fashion project with some partners in San Diego to do a pilot. Essentially around engaging youth that are aging out of foster care and
Mm,
survivors of human trafficking to become to get exposed to this as an industry and to work. We chose San Diego because of their existing infrastructure around art and specifically sustainable fashion. They have quite a bit going on. I think it's the third Sunday of November is Sustainable Fashion Day in San Diego. So they have quite a bit of infrastructure going on there already. And so looking there to do a pilot with the vision of doing like this being something you could do regionally that could be replicated so that in each region you could have this infrastructure for remix and sustainable fashion, so that we weren't shipping our waste textiles to other
mm,
communities to make it their
mm.
problem. And I feel like if I can make that work, then I could get people engaged around the tiny village 3D printed housing idea.
Yes, love that. Yes.
So yes, this is something I've been passionate about for a long time. So I am very excited. And the project that we're working on together,
Mhm.
the Innovation Sanctuary, is it's related in that it has to do with cultivating inner leadership for business owners, community members, civic leaders. I wouldn't say civic leaders, but community leaders who maybe are not that civically engaged, let's say, to
Mm,
understand infrastructure and how that relates to their goals. But before you can get to dealing with those issues, you need the inner architecture and the inner resources to make better choices that are in the collective interest. So
mhm.
I write a lot about, um, I feel like a reluctant leader sometimes. Um, um,
No way.
um, but I've been writing about this for a long time from my perspective. And one of the things that I went to Florence class to learn was how to do a better job of communicating to the customers that I want. I shouldn't put that in quotes, but to the customers and speaking to their problems.
Mm,
And yes, and speaking to their problems and showing them how getting engaged with these community issues and stepping into community leadership is actually good for their business. And so that's basically what I
mhm,
write, is to educate business owners who don't share that mindset, um, to get them to see the bigger context of why that is absolutely the case, and that's not just my opinion.
I love that. Yes, Yvette is an avid writer. Check out her articles online. I love reading them. Our Innovation Sanctuary retreat is for those looking for, as Yvette said, a transformation in the inner side, building infrastructure, inner leadership to go out after the retreat, to go out into their own communities and practice what they learned with Yvette. It's going to be from October 1st to 5. And before we take registrations, we're hosting 3 open house sessions to get to know people and also answer any questions and introduce what we have lined up within the retreat. We have intensive workshops hosted by Yvette and exciting activities. And would you
Excited.
like to share about the wait list, Yvette?
Yes, so we're going to have after the wait list, we want you to join our wait list so that we can invite you to the Innovation Sanctuary open houses. We'll have three of those for people to get let's say a sample of what we'll be doing, to ask us questions and things like that. And then to just start building community around these ideas, people who care about the things that I care about, people who also care about art and its role in transformation. If you care about learning about my approach to art journaling for personal innovation, I'm happy to share about that. And we'll be doing that as a monthly free community event. And we'll be sharing more about that soon. I'll probably be announcing that through my Substack. So I definitely invite people to join my Substack. I know it's been very heavy lately in my Substack article, but there's been a lot going on, and I don't feel like
Understandable.
people are contextualizing the risk for small businesses here. And so, because I don't see anybody else talking about it, it has just
Mhm.
felt imperative that I do what I can to help people understand how this is going to impact small businesses. So normally, my plan was to talk about more art creation stuff and how I use art to process. So since I've not been doing a lot of that yet, I will be using this gathering that Aurora and I will be doing, and Coco Lomenzo will be joining us for some of these as well. She does a lot of body and energy work. That was how we met. Um, and basically, even if you're not into art journaling, though, I really want you to come, and it won't be that formal. Well, not won't be that formal. It won't be formal at all. It'll be just kind of like a community hang. Bring, if you're not into art journaling, bring whatever it is that you're interested in and that you're working on, and we'll just like work on what we're working on together. And if people want to share and talk a little bit, we can do that. And just yeah, I'd like for this to be the beginning of building our community around transformation and innovation sanctuary and
Yes,
what
yeah,
that means.
I know. Very exciting.
I'm
So
really excited about this because I feel like this is the perfect space for holistic growth to
mm,
happen, because that really was the feeling of the community. It
oh,
had just this.
yeah,
Well, I know that's why Tsunami went there. She wants a more holistic life. And
that's true.
yeah, I just feel that that's the world needs that energy. There's some
Mm,
places that are protected. You call your company the Lost Coast, Lost Coast, and we have something called the Lost Colony back east, where in North Carolina. But I think about, and the Lost Colony is not related to what I was thinking, but the Lost Coast. And I'm listening to this book now talking about Shambhala,
mm,
this mystical Tibetan place.
yeah.
And when you think of like magical places, and I am so,
Mhm.
as we were driving there, I kept thinking of Brigadoon. But for anybody who doesn't, it's a really old movie. It's an old, I think, a Gene Kelly movie. But do you know the movie? It's this village that appears every 100 years.
100 years.
Um, every 100 years, this village appears, and these guys go on this trip and they're hunting or whatever. And when the fog lifts, it's a really foggy valley. And then when the
Mhm.
fog lifts, there's a town there. And it's like he falls in love with somebody from the town. And
Aw,
anyway, whenever I see like that was the vibe. You know what I mean? It's like magical, and because I am who I am, this is what I think of.
I have to agree, that movie exactly. Kind of the fog, the magic, it's Shelter Cove. Yes, I
You
remember
feel
when
that, right? You feel that you're entering something magical. And it's like, does this place exist all the time? Or
yeah, I remember when first pulling up the hill, about to enter the town, there was a huge fog, but beautiful mist over the fog with the sun kind of going into sunset. It was blue, pink, purple. It's like, whoa, what is this? It's so magical.
All the
There were
colors.
drops I could see. Like at night, it was magical. That
The
is Shelter Cove.
sky, watching the sky change, right? I mean,
Yes.
that's one of my favorite things is just to sit
Mm.
and watch the sky change. And that was one of the wonderful things when we were sitting at the bistro. There were moments where we weren't even talking, it's like we were just sitting there.
That's the best.
That's just
Yeah.
the best. And so I think that again, um, people having the chance, okay, my cat is gonna come and visit us.
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
Mm.
So having the chance to go and have a magical experience was it was like that was the highlight of our trip. That was like the highlight of our trip.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that Tsunami invited me there.
Yay. That's very
So glad, so
warm,
glad.
warm invitation. Yeah, I'm
And I
so
appreciate
glad.
you too for
Mhm.
when we talked and I told you, when we talked about that experience that I had had and that I had this desire to do a very intimate small retreat um, in a space where I felt it was so conducive to
Mm,
doing this kind of personal deep work
mm,
where you feel safe
mm,
just you come into this space and it's like the nature, these giant trees already, but it's like just everything about it. You just feel embraced. It's a really wonderful feeling because you're embraced and then exposed to the ocean at the same time. So it's a really wonderful thing.
yeah,
Um, and mountains and ocean is a new experience for me since I've come to California because we don't have
mhm,
that in North Carolina or back east.
yeah.
Um, our coastal regions are very different from our mountain region. So
Yes, Shelter Cove has everything. I really love Shelter Cove. So everyone,
I can
thank
see
you.
why.
See why, yeah. Well, thank you everyone for having us listening to our video. We will
Thank you.
include Yvette's Substack link below and the waitlist link below.
Yes.
If it something you're interested in, please sign up and we will be sharing more. I hope you all get to know us.
Yes. Look forward to getting to know everyone, especially in Shelter Cove.
Yay.
All right. Yay. Thanks so much, Aurora.
Thank you, Yvette. And thanks, everyone.
Okay. Give me a second to figure